Good evening, fellow classmates. My name is Colton Farley, and I will be discussing the globalization issues that an IT company faces when expanding to the international market, or what a foreign company entering the U.S. market. What some of those issues and within globalization, what do they look like, and and how do we better understand them? And to understand globalization issues such as those, I think it's important that we understand what globalization actually is. And there's a great definition from our textbook, Information Systems for Business and Beyond by Bourgeois. And globalization refers to the integration of goods, services, and culture among the nations of the world. Um, with technology growing and expanding, we as a society are currently in the new era of globalization, which allows virtually any business to become international. Um, like I said, we're in the new era, but there was two previous ones. Um, they call it globalization 2.0, or I'm sorry, 1.0 and 2.0. 1.0 occurred from 1492 to about 1800, and this globalization era looked a whole lot like horsepower, wind power, and steam power a country had, and how it creatively deployed those capabilities. Globalization 2.0 occurred from 1800 to 2000. It was the dynamic force driving change was multinational companies, such as, for instance, Coca-Cola. And to use that example, I'd like to bring up some of the differences in Coke products that you'll see here in the United States and somewhere like in Europe. So you'll see in Coke products in Europe that the sugar content within the Coke products there are a lot lower than the ones in the United States. Why that might be? I could guess maybe that the health code legal regulations there are a lot higher of standard than it is in the United States, and that Europe doesn't want folks over there to develop health issues due to drinking high concentrated sugary products. That could be a leading reason as to why that might be. But that's just one example of the various issues within globalization that companies have to think about, right? They might have to revamp their product, rethink the way that they do business. And going into our current era, it began the year 2000. It was the convergence of personal computers, fiber optic internet connections, and software. And it's essentially taken us from this big world to now a flat platform where everyone can just equally, easily communicate and have the opportunity to say, send the email off to Hong Kong or in Japan or to someone in the Middle East. The capabilities are there, right? So that is super awesome that we live in this current globalization era. Going into our main piece of the discussion, globalization issues that an IT company might face when expanding to the international market could be the following, right? Infrastructure differences. Each company has its own infrastructure with varying levels of quality and bandwidth. They could have a difference in labor laws and regulations, right? Different countries have different laws and regulation, right? Even the United States, different states have different laws and regulations, right? If you are an employer in Texas, what the laws and regulations that you're used to in Texas might be completely different from somebody that has a business over in Vermont, for instance. And you have to understand that difference for that location. There might be legal restrictions. Many countries have restrictions on what can be sold or how a product can be advertised, right? There may be language and customs and preferences differences. Every country has its own unique culture, and a business must consider when it's trying to market a product there how their product may, interface with those differences and preferences. And then lastly, the last point is international shipping. Shipping products between countries in a timely manner can be challenging. Inconsistent address formats, customs agents being dishonest and tearing open packaging, and prohibitive shipping costs are all factors that must be considered when delivering products internationally. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude my discussion post. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.